There's thousands of these people. And if you just go on LinkedIn and Twitter for 10 minutes, you'll find people with just no experience at all in their background telling you how you should be doing, like running your business, have never run a business before, like haven't run ads before. They're like, this is the creative you need. And to be fair, like oftentimes they're doing like breakdowns of other people's creative. But the problem with even doing something like that, which maybe even shows some level of inexperience, is yes, you can break down an ad and analyze why it worked. But as we know from the data, there's no correlation. So even having like a thing that looks like a banger ad, it might not have performed. And I promise you, they're not showing you the data, right? Because no client is going to let you publicly share the performance of their ad. And if you don't have the actual real performance of the ad itself, you shouldn't like imprint that into your taste because you're wrong, right? Like you don't actually know if that thing worked. So that's one issue. And then the other issue is Facebook in particular is a channel where, yes, very often you can put in $1, get 5 back with no other channels, nothing else. You're a brand new brand. It does work sometimes. But most of the time, especially the ads that you see getting analyzed by these gurus on LinkedIn and Twitter and so on, they worked really well or got this publicity because there are 10 other channels that are running in conjunction with Facebook that are filling up the upper funnel so the bottom funnel absolutely smashes. But it's also because they have TV ads, they have Google ads running, they have programmatic running, they have Tatari running, they have billboards all over, Like Casper's a great example of this where like everyone's like, oh, they built their brand on direct response. It's like, no, they didn't. They had freaking billboards on the subways in New York City. They were buying out entire trains. They had hundreds of millions in VC money. Analyzing a Casper ad isn't useful.
They still probably didn't do so well in retrospect anyway, like they thought they should. So it's like, why are we using this as a test case? I mean, that was the central reason I looked at that thing different ad. The Apple ad that I wrote about. I think the more award-winning and famous the ad is, and the more people are breaking down, probably the less effective it actually is. If you have a really effective ad, do you want to tell someone that it's working really well? No. So number one, there's a disincentive to disclose in the first place that the ads are really, really good. It's like a red herring. Yeah, and we know this because when agencies have their creative, they want to submit that for an award, right? So if it hasn't gone well, what can they get out of it? Well, they can get some political capital for the CMO and, big note themselves. So what do? They pay off somebody at the award shows a very generous submission entry. I'm sorry, not pay off. I mean, I didn't say that. But you can submit them into these shows. You have a couple of friends that are judges on the inside and go, hey, can you give me the gold award for that? Like, yeah, sure. And then, some person on LinkedIn's analyzing, going, oh my God, that was such a good ad. It won like 13 gold, whatever. I'm like, yeah. what success sort of mark are we talking about here? It's definitely not revenue. So yeah, and I figured out I Think Different was really not that effective. And the best ad of all time, 1984, got Steve Jobs fired. So how is that a good ad? I don't get it.
It's funny. That's my go-to reference also.